Hey everybody, welcome back. Today we're going to do another issue of High Roads of, issue number 4 this time by Cliffhanger Comics. Cool cover. It reminds me of, it could be a movie poster. So let's dive in. I must say before we do that, I have very much fun with these colors. It's not perfect. The biggest gripe that I have is these constantly muted colors that I really do not like. But that's probably a design choice because it's in every book of this series. So I don't know. Maybe to have the feeling that is this set in the past, so high contrast or saturated colors is not what they wanted to do here, I guess. Anyway, so we're getting introduced to another character. It's on a cover, right? So yeah. And I believe these are these kamikaze pilots, and they are getting a motivational speech. Oh man, I'm about to sneeze. I hope I can make this video in time before I do that. And I talked about in my last video, the last Ronin. Check that out. About a splash page or a double splash page or a spread should wow you. And I thought to myself, wow, this looks really, really cool. I mean, look at all this detail and all these planes here and all these people over here and on everything on the foreground and the background, and this detail on these planes. Yeah, this is exactly what I mean. And there's a couple other cool splash pages in this comic as well. So we see this Japanese guy, and they are kamikaze pilots, so that means they are going to die anyway because suicide bombers or soldiers. And everybody says banzai. Yeah, banzai. So they go into the ads. Wait a minute. So one of his friends or pilot says, Oni, are you there? Okay, please, radio silence over enemy space. You are going to get us into trouble. And he says, I'm about to crash my plane into a church, Honey. How much trouble can I get in? And then, so for the last time, why are we doing this again? He says, the other one says, otherwise we're going to bring shame to our family and our country. Let's finish this conversation in heaven, my friends. And then they all, crash into buildings, etc. But our Japanese guy says, I really don't want to die today. And he says, Father, Mother, I'm sorry. So he takes off and he says, but not too sorry. So he's a coward. Well, according to his land and the people that are live in because of their beliefs, etc. And then we switch to where we left off. So we have Nic Highroads and Sloan Appleby and the Nazi guy on the top of a train while the bridge here is being blown up. And Nic says, excuse me, sir, I'm really going to have you insist you unhand the lady, and now. But and he rambles on and he says, what's the plan here, Nic? Talking to death. Yeah, I like the humor here. I mean, it's very, very fun. And Nic is what's the word? A typical, well, it's maybe not typical now, but maybe then, a cookie cutter, apple pie eating, good American. Yeah. And he doesn't swear and he's very polite and he's a very, 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 very nice guy. Well, he's a soldier, of course, but he talks in a very, very polite way in the face of danger and death. And again, another splash page, although with more panels, but I mean, you can look at this. So he says, turn that frown upside down, Mrs. Appleby. Sir Arthur and I have everything under control. And then these Nazis are coming. I mean, look at this, man. These cards, all these parts you see. I mean, this is what I mean with detail. You don't even if there is less detail, there is in other parts a lot of detail that makes it all up. So I really like that. So the Nazis are still, attacking the train, and we see here's Mr. I believe Sir Arthur Bombridge III is in some kind of a cabin, and he's looking for some cargo. This cargo that he has put there himself, and then this happens. So the Nazi says, "Drop the gun, or I shoot the girl." And he says, "You spoke." He was silent before that, and says, Nicholas says, "Ain't you supposed to be the silent killer type?" So the Nazi ninja says, "He's right. What kind of a ninja are you?" "Dutch Reform." And he says, "Sergeant." That surprised me a little bit because I'm Dutch. But then the sergeant says, Nicholas says, "Ma'am, I don't mean to be all unchivalrous or nothing, but I got a family back home." So basically he says, "So long and good luck and bye-bye," and he jumps off the top of the train. He said, "What are you doing?" And she says, "Nick." Well, she's defending herself, and she's biting his arm, and she says, don't bruise the merchandise," she says. I'm going to show you a lot. I'm going to skip a couple of pages. And then when the Nazis come in here, try to, do some kind of attack here, because he knows that there's people in here that they want to get, because these guys are hunted. So they open the train doors, and then so Arthur Bombridge trains themselves into the Führer, and because this says, "Oh, it's him, the mighty Führer himself," and then the other one says, "Well, you fool, it's a trick, it's a reflection, it's just a small one." "Well, but it's quite convincing," he says. Yeah, and but then this happens, so they don't look in front of themselves, and they crashed into a tree, and I laughed my ass off so much. Like I said, I really hate the colors because it's all blending together, with the browns and the greens and the grays and everything in between. But the detail is incredible. And the humor is spot on. If you are into this kind of humor, it's silly humor, but it's not Marvel silly or DC silly, let's 12-year-old silly. It's just, normal. Is that how you say it? Normal silly? Just silly? Yeah, it's okay. There's levels of silliness. Anyway, so Miss Appleby is leaping to a gun. It says here, leap. I like that. And she says, "Well, you're not going to take me back." Because she says, Adolf had his chance, and now he's with that slut Eva. And then Nazi ninja says, "Nonsense." And he grabs her, and he says, basically, well, he only wants you back because he wanted to make sure that Adolf, that he knows that she didn't say anything about the necklace and the location. So yeah, right. And if she's not cooperating, then he's gonna shoot her. But then Nick comes back and kicks the Nazi, from the train. And she says, "You came back. Guys never come back," because, well, she doesn't trust guys at all. Let's see, what does it say? This is actually why I don't trust men. Anyway. And she says, "Shucks, that's not true. Maybe you just need to start hanging around better guys. I was thinking when this is all over." And then she says, "No." And Nick doesn't misinterpret the whole situation. He says, "Well, okay. I understand. Maybe it's a little bit too soon," and etc. But then she says, "No, I said no, like in we're too close to the bridge, and we need to jump off." And then so Arthur comes and she says, "Come along, children." And then this happens. So they're jumping out of the train wagon or whatever, and with this horses, looks, he says, "Yeah." And this looks great and also a little bit silly. But then the whole, how do you say, train is crashing, but we don't see it actually happen. And then I thought to myself, why? Why don't you let me see it? And I thought, maybe on the next page, but that's not it. So we don't see the train crashing, probably the water, because the bridge is blown up, or any of debris or crashes or people dying. And I thought, oh man, what? That's a missed opportunity. No, I'm not a sadist, you know, that I like to see people die, but you know, the whole crash thing, you know, just like with the car with the Nazis. And they are I believe in Paris again. And but Arthur is very, very angry towards Sloan, and because he thinks that she is, you know, not being honest, and that they are going on a goose chase to get this so-called magical necklace of Morpheus, and it nearly cost them their lives. And then, but then Sloan says, "Here are the coordinates that I got." And said, "What did you see?" And then he says, "Morpheous Necklace, undisputed power, long attitude." And then Nic says, "Hate to poop this party, excuse my French." Oh, Nic, you're just a simp. But no, he's just a uber nice guy. But he says that this whole new location, or the longitude and how do you say it? Longitude and latitude is pointing to the North Pole, you know, and we see that in the very first issue that I reviewed on my channel. And then, but they still want to go there, and this woman says, "Pardon, I cannot help you overhearing. You need to find a pilot, yes? Oui. Then I know just the man. A better pilot there is all the world." And probably with my very bad translation of doing a little bit English-French, which is also the translation of German English, because they also talk like that. No, probably not. Anyway, and then we're getting introduced to Oki, and he's drunk, and yeah, he's gonna probably jump on board into the next issue that I'm really, really look forward to read it, and I hope. I mean, I'm pretty sure that the issue 5 is just as insane as this one, this adventure book with comedy. I hope it also pays off in the very, very last issue, in issue 6. I hope so. So guys, this is it. Hope you liked the video. Stay tuned for the next one. See you later. Bye-bye.